Two drunk assholes talking about whatever comes to mind. We present Filler with Jack Fike and Rob Harper. Filler is Jack and my insane rambling. In this episode, we look at how Warner Brothers are stupid, and we discuss a lot of different superhero movies. Please do note that we are extremely drunk during these recordings, so if we do sound like unintelligent fools, just forgive us. And note, as most fillers, we start recording halfway through a conversation.
Start recording in the last 1/3 of a conversation.
Yeah, well, just in case.
Okay.
So we're talking about how Arrow actors should be in the movies and how they poor casting for the movies.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about Ben Affleck. I think he'll be a fine Batman.
Oh, yeah. He'll be. Yeah.
But she's super skinny and not very tall. You think Amazonian think should be tall.
And the height can be
What's her
overcome
name,
by
Godot or something?
shortening and stuff like that. Like it's not vital that everyone, like if they can make Tom Cruise look like he's even average.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a miracle on film.
Yeah,
that's solenoid magic.
But the thing is, Affleck's like 6'3" or something. He's a tall dude. And I don't know how tall Cavill is. He better be taller than Affleck. I don't think he is. I think he's shorter. Which would be terrible if Batman towers over Superman.
I think they're. I think they're drawn the same height in the comic book, so they might have to do a little.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know.
But
she's but she does have like a year and a half to bulk up. Still, she is like you see her in Fast and Furious. She is toothpick.
I never watched those movies, so I only saw pictures of her, and
she's skinny.
I thought that's unacceptable.
Like I think she looks the part, but she's not big enough.
I could name probably 5 women that look the part and are big enough. That would be even better.
Yeah, and she's not like a great actress. It's not like we got her because she's like Oscar-worthy actress. She's not. She's got like a accent. I don't know what accent she has. French, it seems.
Godot, maybe, yeah.
It's European accent. It's maybe Spanish, something like that. Which she's supposed to be Greek, I guess, but
at some point,
maybe she's Greek. I'm not sure, but
a good actress that could convince you that she's Wonder Woman could work. But she would have to be a phenomenal
It also
actress.
matters how much she's in the movie. But anything in the movie means that they're playing up for the next movie, which should be a bigger part.
They're ramping up for Justice League, and they're doing it. They know the time is short, which is why they should use Arrow from the.
Why bother recasting it?
Yeah. Why bother when you can literally go?
I hope they change your mind on that.
They've got to be lying.
Hopefully.
They've got to be lying. Marvel's at the point where they're having a movie with a raccoon wielding a machine gun.
And a tree.
And a tree. Groot will be
Although they say that
standard.
A lot of people are saying this movie's the one step too far. Where it's...
I've got 100% faith.
I do too,
They
but
haven't failed me yet.
This director, James Gunn, I never heard of his movies, but they're very popular. Like reminds me of Sam Raimi's popularity before it became big.
Okay.
Where it's like he's got a good following, but he's crazy. I think so. This movie might end up being nuts. And did you watch Thor, right?
100%
did you see Thor?
faith. The first one?
No, the new one.
No.
Oh, you haven't watched it yet?
No.
Oh, okay. Because there's a mid credit sequence that was directed by him, and it's crazy.
Good.
Like you're like for us, I think we're gonna like Guardians of the Galaxy, but I don't think it's gonna be popular.
Hey, you know what? I have faith. The studio and the people, the show, the movie runners, everything about it is.
And people are the general populace are told what to like. So as long as it's presented like a real movie, I think people take it as a real movie.
You're saying as long as they say this is the movie and this is
part of Avengers, this is the same pedigree as everything else.
People won't sit there and question.
The average person, the geeks are gonna flip out no matter what. It could be the best movie ever, they'll still flip out. Like people all the time complain that Pacific Rim isn't a great movie. It's like you take it for what it is. It's not Hamlet here, people.
Yeah. That was made for you. Sit and enjoy it.
So stop nitpicking this movie.
Yeah.
So that's what you're always gonna get those people. But I think general audience, as long as it's hopefully, as long as it's presented the same way, people will accept it.
But Warner Brothers has got to get their heads out of their asses. They're casting Wonder Woman for a bit in this movie, and that's above their. It seems like they're floundering on a simple casting choice.
It's an odd casting choice.
The woman who played. Have you seen John Carter: Warlord of Mars?
No.
I just watched it again. I've watched it maybe 3 or 4. I've probably watched it.
I know you
5 times.
do love your John Carter. I should watch it. I don't know. I just never got around to it. I'm sure.
Visually, it's beautiful.
It's one of those movies that fell through the cracks, unfortunately. It's stupid naming too. They just called it John Carter instead.
And you're
of
like,
John Carter.
why do I want to watch a movie called John Carter? Who's he? Why?
Instead of Mars, you throw Of Mars on it, people go, "Oh, it's a sci-fi movie."
And then when you see the aesthetics of it is very good.
I don't even mind Taylor Kitsch. Like he's like box office poison because of Battleship and then this, but he was good in both Lady Battleship. I thought he was a good actor. He was fun. Like
and the movie is supposed to be fun. It's
not serious.
But the books, what I liked the Barsoom books. I enjoyed them as a kid, but the books I read didn't include some of the parts like the later books have. Yeah. And
there's a lot of those books.
This movie takes a lot of Edgar Rice Burroughs books and makes one story,
condenses it.
So there's elements I was like, that's not. Only later did I learn was actually part of the mythos.
Just different time.
Yeah, I think that's. But it was enjoyable. It was enjoyable. I was expecting one thing, I got another, and it wasn't like they were trying to rape my childhood. It wasn't a Kill Bill situation.
I don't understand why you hate Kill Bill so much.
We've had this conversation.
I know,
you know
but
why.
I just don't understand.
You know why.
No, but I understand your reasoning. I just don't understand it.
If your swift action and your straining hadn't have kept me in the seat in the theater, because
yeah, because you're like, I think your quote was, "If someone gets their head chopped off and a spurt of blood shoots straight up, I'm out of here." And what happened? You stood up,
and I said, "Well, that's it." And I just got up, and then you were like, "Sit down,"
because we were with like some girls too.
Yeah, we were with girls, and we were in a packed audience.
Yeah.
It
wasn't just us.
No, and I was making a scene, but I was that disgusted.
We were at the very back though too, so it didn't matter as much.
I was disgusted with.
It's funny. I remember so much of that because of that event, but it's kind of etched into the mind.
Yeah.
Most times I don't remember anything.
This was an homage, and it wasn't what I expected, but it was also well done. I enjoyed it.
Visually, it was good.
I would recommend watching the
movie. Unlike Conan,
it's a well built world that they're in. It's a well built storyline, very classic. Like they didn't, because those books were written,
30s or whatever.
Yeah, like so. Now some of the stuff is very cliche, but that's because people have come since and done it to death. Yeah. But the story arc is pretty nowadays cliched. The character, the depth of the character.
I like those classic stories. They're more. That's what I like. Pulp is what I'm into. So I'm sure I would like it a lot. I just never got around to watching it. But I don't think it's on Netflix, which is odd.
Anyways, the princess, because
it's Disney, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's why
the princess in it. She would be a Wonder Woman. Like right now, you could take her and go.
Well, I'm sure there's tons. Like you say, Gina Carrera, because she could fight.
And I've seen her act. She was in a movie.
I never saw that. I wanted to see that movie.
She plays
because this is not somebody who needs to be like socialite. She's someone who just came off an island.
And this woman in this movie was a pretty hard, pretty uncaring, and not. I don't know if it was because of her limited acting or that was the character. But it worked perfectly for that role. I'm not saying
similar role.
I'm not saying she's going to be doing Sophie's Choice when they remake that. I'm saying for that role she did a very good job, and she would do perfect Wonder Woman. Like what?
I don't know. Yeah, of all the people to choose, they made an odd choice.
A willowy kind of wafy
and supermodel. Like I understand you want her to be pretty, but not like she's skinny. She's literally like thin, rail thin. Like so, you want someone who's tall and muscular, or at least can show that she could fight. Like this girl doesn't. You don't look at her and go, "Oh, she's a fighter." And you look at her and go, "Oh, she's a supermodel."
And this woman who plays in John Carter is at one point because he's from the Civil War era, and he rescues this damsel, and he jumps up to. I'm not going to ruin it if you haven't seen it.
Yeah,
he rescues her, and he's like, "Oh, here you go, milady," whatever it is. And that's when the enemy starts charging, and she pushes him out of the way, and she's starts
like kicking ass.
She starts kicking ass, and she would be a perfect Wonder Woman.
I'm going to look up to see what her name is.
She would be a perfect Wonder Woman. And again, you could put... You know who I hate from Arrow, though?
Who? Oh, the sister. You hate the
Black
sister.
Canary, whatever her name is.
Is it Deja Thoris?
That's the character's name.
Yeah, Lynn Collins, her name is. Yeah, she looked perfect. What was she in X-Men? Oh, she was Silver Fox in Wolverine.
So not only is she not above playing a superhero,
Yeah, she's already been in
a...
And she's also, she's went to Juilliard, and she was in Shakespeare training before, like, she's a Shakespearean actress.
Yeah. So let's pull a runway model off the,
Yeah.
off the street and try and bulk her up. Or you could just go, hey...
Yeah, she was in Merchant of Venice. She was in the movie.
She's perfect. Let's do something with her.
She's perfect. She,
If you see if you see pictures of her with a sword and the armor and stuff like that, like if there's a
she seems perfect.
I was watching. No, yeah, that's got to be the next Wonder Woman. Not
and she looks like Wonder Woman.
She can hold her own in a fight scene, but she's a good actor.
Like, she is perfect.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Wow, they made a mistake.
Huge mistake. Unless they went to her and she was like, "No, I'm in the middle of another project."
She could have been doing
something. And they're like, "We can't. We got Cavill and we've got Affleck on the."
Let's see if she's doing something else. She's doing a movie called Occult next, and she's on TV show Elementary, but only for one episode.
And that's why something like that is why I don't put it past Warner Brothers to not use the Arrow franchise as a leaping off point. Imagine that before this movie comes out, in Arrow, the TV show, they see Superman doing something, and they're like, "Holy crap, the world's changing." Oh, here's Batman.
And meanwhile, this is the new Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she weighs about 90 pounds.
She's super hot, but she's not Wonder Woman.
No. Hey, it's a woman.
And she's only, she's done all the Fast and Furious movies for, 6 of them. She's only been in 11 movies.
And 6 of them are Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
So certainly, that's a pretty impressive pedigree right there.
Yeah,
So she's a woman and she has black hair. So let's sign her up.
Maybe she's under contract with the company who makes it.
Maybe the same studio, and they're just like, we just need some bitch to throw in there. Well, see, that's the thinking of us. That's an executive.
She's so skinny.
That's an executive from a failing franchise. Yeah.
She's super hot. There's no denying that, but she's not.
No.
Unless she can bulk up, she's not. It doesn't say how tall she is, but I don't think she's that tall.
It'll be silly watching her fight bad guys and go, oh.
It would be silly. She's just not for that character. Like, if she was playing someone like Black Canary, someone who's not known for her stature.
Yeah.
She's Amazonian. She's the Amazonian.
Yeah, she's supposed to be. Well, just because she's on contract, or
usually
just because she's available, doesn't make her the right choice.
And I'm usually wait and see kind of guy, but this is just wrong.
No.
Especially after showing that other girl is perfect.
And that was one just
off the top of your head, yeah.
Off the top of my head, she's perfect. Just because. Hey, who do we got laying around? We got Hayden Panettiere. Okay, throw her in the Wonder Woman outfit and get her out there.
There's so many better choices.
It's not. So that's why I think that maybe that just the tie-ins alone to the TV show, the build-up that you could put in the TV
we know
show,
Warner Brothers is retarded when it comes to multiple levels. They can't tie their DC comic books are literally failing right now because they're so bad.
And Arrow, that TV show, is now got better ratings than some of the big three, and I guess there's not big threes and outdated. That's decades old thinking.
Because even if there's more than 3 networks. Now.
Yeah, so it has higher ratings. It's highly popular.
Yeah.
So why would you then go? Yeah, that's highly popular.
That's probably the most popular thing right now.
That could be our springboard. Marvel has, as an afterthought, created what we stumbled into, what we lucked into. Marvel's had to recreate.
They've had to purposely create it.
But we're just going to discard it because we're Warner Brothers and we have no idea what we're doing. No clue.
Well, I think what it is probably Warner Brothers is such a big company, where Marvel is their own company. Warner Brothers is such a big company that it's so compartmentalized. They don't. It's like pre 9/11 security, where everything was so separate that they don't talk to each other enough, right?
Every company has a president, and if that president goes, "Hey,"
but I think each section has a president. I don't think every company, like in Warner Brothers, I bet there's a president of Warner Brothers Television, Warner Brothers Movies, Warner Brothers Publications. I think they're all totally separate companies under the umbrella, right?
And that president of movies is going.
Whereas Marvel
is over and talk to the guy who does television.
Yeah.
Oh, my bile is rising.
Yeah.
Oh, television. Oh, I'm going to have to have a hot shower.
Yeah.
And the guy from television is like, "Hey, bitch,
we're the hot new kids on the block.
I've got this going. Look."
And meanwhile, the comic book people are like, guys, we have all these great writers and ideas over here. Comic books, that is for children.
And then both
your number one show is a comic book. No, that's a television show. That's not a comic book.
Both the TV
We changed
president,
it enough. You didn't change it that much. Yeah.
both the TV president and the movie president then look at that guy and go, "Oh, disgusting."
Yeah. Whereas Marvel, it's one company, and the guy that runs the movies is I don't know who it is now, but it used to be that Ari Avid guy who was in charge of all the different movies, and he really loved comic books. Guy in charge of television, I think it's Jeff Loeb or someone who's like he's a comic writer, and they all talk to each other like they
all get together and go, "Let's synergy."
It's one
people.
company,
Synergy.
Yeah. Whereas Warner Brothers is such a big company. Warner Brothers never cared about their comic books movie franchises until even after Batman hit, the original '89 Batman. They still didn't realize what they had on their hands.
Until dollar signs started popping up.
Until X-Men, Blade, Spider-Man, all of a sudden Marvel's like, hey, we have 50 years worth of stuff. Everybody's doing remakes, we can just do adaptions. And they're like, holy shit, we should do that too. Poor
dollar signs.
And then the success of the Dark Knight trilogy, for its many flaws, it was successful, and now everything has to be like Dark Knight. Where it's like, no, Batman's like Dark Knight. Superman's not like Dark Knight.
Well, he is now. They've made that canon. They've had Cavill has made the Dark Son of Krypton.
And then the DC made the mistake of following suit in their comic books to be more like their movies. It's
and
like,
maybe this Wonder Woman, this waif
she'll be slaughtering people left and center. Which is fine for Wonder Woman, but still.
Wonder Woman, the Dark Amazon. Yeah, everything's be.
Well, I'm amazed they didn't recast her as a African American or something. Who's that girl from Avatar?
Oh, Zoe Delzana or something?
Yeah, I'm amazed they didn't cast someone like that. Just to be like, look, we're different.
Well, they're different, all right.
Nah, they just...
The Man of Steel was unwatchable, and I don't care.
Still haven't watched
People
it.
can go, "Oh, you're butthurt. You're a geek." A, not a geek. B, not butthurt. I was a bored moviegoer, and I was embarrassed by what they thought they could just expunge onto celluloid. What they dropped it out. They squatted over what could have been a good movie, defecated and put it on a plate and said, "There you go, consume this." And I said, "No,"
because I like Zack Snyder as a director, but I think he just was the wrong person for it. He did good for Watchmen, but different story. I couldn't sit through it enough because I do enjoy Zack Snyder. I didn't sit through it enough to be able to enjoy his directing, the writing, the cinematography. It was poor casting choices, poor storyline. Well, even Superman. Do you think Superman was? You said he was not a very good actor.
He's passable. I'm not going to say he's a bad actor. It wasn't laughable.
He was fine as Superman, though.
Yeah, Dark Superman. His range was pretty bad when he needed it.
He was brooding Superman.
Yeah, and
I gotta watch this movie just so I can talk intelligently about it.
I'll give you a hint. The first time I tried to watch it, I couldn't get through the birthing scene.
With the first half hour of
the aesthetics of it, the why it was there, what it was just not great. Then I came into it after the birthing scene, watched a little bit, and God help me, I thought that Pa Kent, what's his name, Kevin Costner, probably the best part of the movie. And
in the commercials, he looked like the worst part of the movie to me.
And he is bad,
not acting wise. I mean, just
the character's bad. What he was saying is bad. It's all bad. But Kevin Costner,
he's a good actor.
He did a good job.
He elevated what he was given.
Yes, and then they go back. But then eventually they go back to Krypton a lot, and I was like, okay, I
keep doing flashbacks, or
I think
if they're going to do that, why didn't they have Brainiac?
Why was it that Kryptonian air was kryptonite, and it was the air that made Superman not powerful anymore? Like they literally
made no sense.
Oh my god! And then the battle scene.
There's only 7 years of backstory. Why keep that? Let's just change it.
70 years of.
We're going on about Superman again.
And the thing is, they said we're not going to use Krypton as a kryptonite as a crutch. And
they just made something different.
Yeah, but they just made a separate crutch. who are you fooling? Like, it's not. You didn't innovate. All you did was change something you shat on. So aren't you just now producing a shitty
version of it? At least before you had the classicness of it.
Yeah, like come on. It was a joke. It was an embarrassment. Don't waste your time. Don't even and the fight scenes. Like again, I got bored in the middle part, and I've watched some of the fight scene at the end, and I got bored. At no point was this movie riveting enough that the times I visited it that I even could sit and watch it.
The other thing, you found the Spider-Man remake very boring too. I haven't seen that one yet either.
And that was a shame. Because
it's funny how it only seems like only Marvel Studios makes good movies. I'm trying to think. Other than like Watchmen was good. A lot of people didn't like it though, and like Hellboys. Like, is there any other good superhero movie that was made by a company that wasn't Marvel?
I don't know.
It's not many. Like, okay, yeah, Dark Knight, Dark Knight. That was a good movie. But even then, it wasn't a Batman movie. It was a Joker movie. But
and again, the final movie,
Dark Knight Rises
trilogy,
it was piss poor. It's Bane. Bane is a terrible villain.
Could have been good though.
Bane is just a terrible villain. He's terrible in the comic books too. He represents a time in the comic books that were so bad, and he is like the epitome of what was bad about the 90s.
Except for the movie showed him they started him out as something that was relevant for today.
Oh, he wasn't the bad part about the movie. I could totally say that.
But then all of a sudden, the Talia shows up. And then all of a sudden,
they made him to be like a terrorist, but then they made it just a revenge story in the end. So it had nothing to do with his.
Yeah,
he wasted all those like months of being a terrorist just because of revenge. Like, it made no sense.
And he was discarded to be not the real villain. He was basically thrown in the garbage.
Yeah, he was kind of...
Catwoman dispatched him just because they had to tie up that loose end. Like, get rid of him.
Just shoot him with some machine guns.
Yeah, Batman...
He was machine guns on a Bat-cycle that Batman would never use. So why would you have it?
But, no. The first 1/3 of that movie built up to something I could have thought
I think Catwoman was one of the better parts of it.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Talia was fine. It was Batman that let it down, really. It was most of it was Batman letting it down.
Yeah.
I even like the whole it should have been a not Batman movie. It should have been a Gotham PD movie, like a Gotham Central movie, where it's just about the cops.
Did you hear that there's going to be a show called Gotham PD?
Gotham Central. That was a very famous, popular comic book. Was Gotham Central.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So, but that's what it should have been, because Batman was what let it down. But him taking 8 years off and all this bullshit. And...
Yeah, we're literally taking a bat to low hanging fruit. Like, we're using the low fruit tree as a.
Well, we're just trying to prove that Warner Brothers just can't manage their license for some reason. Other than cartoons, they do the cartoons amazing. Like, it's funny. Why can't they take the aesthetic from the cartoons and turn it into live action?
Marvel will be done.
They don't have the confidence.
Wrapping up their thing, they'll have made a ton of money. They'll have solidified
the
hearts and minds.
They'll have run it into the ground.
They'll have solidified in the hearts and minds comic books for multiple generations.
Yeah.
And Warner Brothers will be then finally possibly getting a half-assed movie.
Because I think Avengers 2 will be out before Justice League.
Oh, yeah.
I think Avengers 2 is going to be... They're going to go so big that it's going to explode. It'll just going to be like... Nothing can come after this. Nothing. They're going to go so big that they're going to just be like...
And that's when DC's finally going to have something.
And then DC will try to respond by making it bigger, and then it'll just turn into Green Lantern, which I watched finally, and it wasn't very good.
No, but
and it wasn't that Ryan Reynolds wasn't the problem. That was the story.
He was perfect.
Yeah, he was great.
He was perfect. My summation was that they took an origin story and added the worst parts through all the timelines of Green Lantern into one thing.
They tried to do too much in one movie.
Didn't need an origin story.
Didn't need Oa.
Didn't need Oa. Then didn't.
Either you do Oa and not the origin, or you do origin not Oa. They did both. It's like no, it's too much. Parallax was too early.
Or pare it down to a nice even in the first third, the first act. Origin Oa. Middle act, fish out of water, or get the ring, origin, fish out of water, Oa, conclusion with, okay, Sinestro's not what he seems. I'll be back. Done.
It just, that whole Parallax thing was not He's not Green Lantern's best villain. He's just probably... The only reason Parallax exists is to explain why Green Lantern went insane at one point.
That was the explanation as to why they had killed the franchise and wanted to reboot it.
Yeah, just to bring Hal Jordan back, because Kyle Rayner was Green Lantern forever.
So why start with that? Why start with
the thing that they used to fix what they screwed up?
You don't build a boat by putting patches in places where there's going to be holes.
And same with even the multicolored lanterns. That whole thing was a fix too, to try to revitalize Green Lantern, because it was pretty boring.
It was when they were doing the fix. They said, well, we can't just do this fix because it's stupid. We have to add some value to our mistake that we're fixing. And it took off. So...
I hate the whole multicolor thing. Green Lantern was good on its own.
Yeah.
Well, the best stories are Green Lantern and Green Arrow. Those were amazing.
Because they were opposites, polar opposites.
Yeah, Green Lantern's super sci-fi and Green Arrow's street guy. And they like...
Street
and it was,
level, high-powered, different. And one
and it was all like they were talking about like social issues and drug abuse and poverty, and like it was like 70s, and that was big on the hippies.
Green Arrow was the kind of the vigilante, the man's not always right, and Green Lantern was, no, I'm part of this intergalactic police thing. Like they were so.
It was like chaos versus law, kind of.
Yeah,
but they were friends, and they went through, and it was a great series. Why wouldn't they like take that kind of leading?
Instead, they're stupid.
Instead, they went for the 9. That's like, yeah. We'll see with this new X-Men movie too, because that seems like they're going with the worst. They're going with one of the best stories of X-Men and then changing it to be like the X-Men cartoon, which always annoyed me because the X-Men cartoon was just the good stories, and then they put in what characters they had So they like changed everything. Whereas they're doing the same thing, where instead of it's supposed to be Kitty Pryde going back in time.
I've heard.
Wolverine and...
I've only heard secondhand. I didn't read X-Men.
Yeah, you weren't a big X-Men fan.
I didn't watch the cartoon very much. I don't know any of this backstory. All I know is what I didn't like about the movies. So with that in mind, I've heard that they've made Wolverine the star where Kitty Pryde was the star because they want to continue the movies.
They want it to continue to be the Wolverine story.
Which I can kind of see. He's the tie-in in
got
all
his
the
own
movies. Well...
You don't need Wolverine to be the star of every movie. It's a teen book. It's not a Wolverine book.
You're right. But for a movie-going audience, I think you can draw a line of... I think it's the Wolverine's story arc links the movies rather than a multiple movies of a team.
That's fine if it's a...
I don't have a problem with that, to be honest.
See, for me, it's fine if it's a Wolverine story, but it's not. It's X-Men.
Yeah. I can see your point.
I don't
too.
like I love Wolverine. I love the character, and the first Wolverine movie's alright, and the second movie I thought was pretty good. It's just okay, that's fine. We get Wolverine. I understand. It's too much Wolverine.
Yeah.
There's so many good characters on the X-Men that they get. Well, they killed off Cyclops. They killed off Jean Grey. Like
this new movie, if it isn't a time traveling retcon,
I think that's their plan.
Unless they fix everything that they did
pretty
wrong.
Sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's going to end with the Jean Grey and Cyclops being back, and then they already announced what the next movie is going to be about, and it's Age of Apocalypse, which is interesting.
That's bold.
Apocalypse is bold. Plus, it's once again kind of time traveling. It's not time traveling. It's more like alternate history. So I don't know. They're kind of back to backing them. It's kind of weird, but.
The X-Men have been it's a race between them and Fantastic Four, who goes back and forth through time the most.
They do a lot.
That seems to be their stick. So like maybe that's
these are the two biggest stories too. The biggest.
And you know what's bold?
Time travel stories.
I hadn't heard that Apocalypse was going to be in the next movie that they'd planned, but Apocalypse is a sweeping villain, like a he runs multiple books. Apocalypse is being a villain, so you never know. At some point, Marvel Studios could maybe.
But this problem is Fox owns.
But that's what I'm saying. Like at some
although
point,
Fox,
maybe...
I think Fox is probably more willing. Sony refuses to work with Marvel.
Yeah.
That's why Spider-Man couldn't be in anything. They refused to do it. Where Fox might be more willing to share some profits and get on the Marvel train.
Yeah, hey, a joint venture, maybe, because Apocalypse is a.
Or even just, yeah.
But I will say, speaking of that, the new Spider-Man, that when they remade that, like 2 months after the other one had just ended, the Sam Raimi ones, which that movie, the director, there was some shots, some scenes that were just beautiful, and just the way they panned and it revealed things. The Lizard.
Yeah, I see that too, just to see it.
He was. When Peter Parker's going across the bridge doing that stereotypical saving the bus full of children, stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying. I fell asleep.
I've already seen this in the Sam Raimi movie.
Yeah, like
why? I don't understand why they.
Every Spider-Man has to then be on a bridge, save a vehicle that's gone over the edge,
but
hopefully in flames.
Why would you do the origin story again? A, it's Spider-Man. Everybody knows the origin story, and B, you just did it 10 years ago, if that. I hate that.
16 minutes of exposition of him.
Do you think in the Superman Batman movie they're going to do the origin of Batman again? I hope not.
I hope so, because it would just show how
you just laugh your ass off. It would give us more things to talk about.
They have that studio has yet to meet the minimum expectations of quality I would expect. So I might as well root for
aim for humorous.
The exact opposite. I each time I go in there expecting a little bit of a tiny bit of quality, and I've been disappointed each time. Maybe I should just expect the most ludicrous, asinine choices. And yes, I hope they redo the Superman story, his origins again.
Redo his origin again.
Right. It's Cavell, waking up going, oh, I had a horrible dream where I was fighting.
You wanted just a reboot?
Yeah. No,
I don't know. Well, that was a fun filler. We wrapped that one up.
Well, there you have it. We solved nothing, and Warner Brothers will not listen to us. But maybe there is hope. We're sorry. See you next time.
Brother Rob, what do you listen to on your iPod while we're chanting?
I listen to Vinland Old Time Radio. VinlandOldTimeRadio.podbean.com